What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, Plarium has done it. We just got off the new fusion. It was resource intensive. It was heavy for silver, heavy for shards. All in all, I mean, he's a great champion. Definitely 100% worth it, but it was a nervous wreck fusion, at least for me. And I feel like this new guy coming in is going to be even worse, right? Emic, Trunkheart? I don't know. We'll go with Trunkheart. But yeah, I mean, his kit looks insane. It is going to be just a monster of a fusion. It's going to help progress your account, from early game into mid game. It's going to help you get to that, one key, possibly two key, if you don't have the gear properly needed to make that one key team. He is going to still allow you to make a solid two key team, right, for Ultra Nightmare, which is phenomenal. The last fusion that was kind of like this was Lenotharil, I believe, and before that was Brogni, and Brogni again was a great fusion. It was the first of its kind, and this is actually going to be a what's called hybrid fusion. Now, for you new players out there that have just started playing the game over the last couple of months, you may not be aware what these are, but these are basically taking a fragment champion and taking a old school fusion and kind of blending them together, right? So the epics that we're going to need are all going to be champions that we are going to have to collect the fragments more, and the final legendary is going to be need to summon from a old school fusion. So we'll have to level those guys up. We'll have to put the pots in, potions in, and then we'll have to summon him. But let's get into his kit, and then I'm going to tell you guys a couple of things that you might need to know to prepare yourself for the fusion coming up. So the A1 Earthroot Tendril attacks one enemy, increases the value of all buffs on this champion by 25%. Also increases the value of any shield buffs on the ally with the lowest HP by 25%. That is huge, especially for like arena. That is going to be pretty nuts. Basically works a lot like Brogni's A2, right? Increasing the damage or increasing the shield size. So I'm sure Victor Tez and Mullet Reaver are gonna have a lot of fun with this. His A2 Bindquake attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies for 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. Then, if that's not enough, it decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion's by 1 turn. What does that mean? That means we've got a Painkeeper built into this guy, right? We're getting a nice beefy shield like Haleycath, and then we're getting Painkeepers reducing her the cooldowns on a 3 turn, which is huge. This is why I'm saying this guy is going to be awesome for clan boss. I mean, he's going to be awesome everywhere, but for clan boss, he's going to allow your account to basically go into that, either 2 key or 1 key Ultra Nightmare, which is insane. His A3 Trunkheart's Sanctuary places an unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a taunt buff and a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. Let's break this down real quick. Places an unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. You make him a 4-3 champion, then you're all set. You got unkillable for 2 turns on clan boss. You bring in a Demitha or a Skull Crusher. You're all set. You have yourself a Ultra Nightmare clan boss team where you can just go ham and just build your nukers as damage as possible and get yourself that solid either 1 key or 2 key, right? Places a taunt and a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. Basically, now, if we can extend the duration of taunt, that means he's going to take the stun from the clan boss, right? Which is also huge. You build him properly, you build him tanky. If he's got the unkillable up, you're good. You're golden, right? And then he gets a nice big shield. Again, 30% of his max HP. So if you build him at, like, let's say 80k HP, he's going to get a pretty decent shield, right? He'll be at like 25, 30k almost. So, and then it's a 4-turn cooldown, which is insane. His passive, when attacked under a shield buff, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on an attacker by 2 turns. Occurs once per turn, once per attack. Whenever an ally drops below 20% HP, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. And then it gives you an extra 25%, right? But for that, so it's 75%. And then I don't know if the damage is actually increasing that as well, because increases the damage dealt by that champion by 20%. I don't know if the books actually increase the damage he helps dish out, which is insane as well, again, if it does. But let's look at this kit now, right? Let's look at this passive. Whenever he's attacked under a shield buff, obviously if he's going to be in arena, you are going to put him in a shield set, right? If you're using him for arena. Most endgame players are probably going to use him for arena or some other Hydra content. They're not going to use him for clan boss. Their clan boss teams are all set. But newer players, you can basically double dip with this and put him in your arena team, and then the build you have should suffice to also be good enough for your clan boss. Increasing the turns by 2 on a random skill. That is big. That's like basically a mini lockout, right? That's like a basher, but it's going to be random. So with the taunt buff up, if you manage to keep it up the whole time by like a debuff extender or something like that, they're going to keep attacking him, and they're not going to be able to use any of the other A2s or A3s, right? They're going to be constantly stuck using their A1s, unless they're AoE. They're going to have to attack him, and then he's just going to be increasing the duration of their abilities, which is nuts. You know, if you're consistently locking them out of one ability, that's pretty big, right? That's going to give you some time. And then whenever an ally drops below 20% HP, increases the damage that that ally does by 20%. So for clan boss, he's basically giving you a 20% increase in damage. So no matter what you do, if you can have some semi-decent builds, he's going to make sure you, again, either get that 2-key or 3-key team. And then his aura increases ally HP in all battles by 30%. So overall, this fusion, I don't think you want to miss, right? What you need to know now is that the fusion is going to be starting next Thursday, August 4th, right? Which basically gives you a little bit more than a week as of today to basically, or almost a week, I should say, to basically start saving up your resources. And the biggest thing you're going to need is silver and shards. Now, it is going to fall. The first summon rush is probably going to be a 10x, which is great, right? Basically, save your mystery shards, save your sacred shards, try to keep those under control. The points, we don't know what the fusion calendar is going to look like, so we don't know if those events are going to have 20, 30, 40, or 50. I can't imagine that Plarium is going to just keep throwing events at us. So my best guess is going to be each event is probably going to have 50 of these fragments, and because we're going to need to collect 8 over the course, maybe it might be 25 with some of the summon rushes and stuff having some extra ones. I'm going into this with the mentality of I can't miss a single event. I need to make sure I have everything going. So as for shards, what you're going to want to do is make sure you have about 3 to 4 sacreds and about, I'd say, at least 1,000 mystery shards, right? We do have 2x voids coming up this week. I would hold off unless you're comfortable, right? If you already have those ancient shards and the mystery shards done, then go ahead, do your thing. If you don't, I would hold off because those are 120 points a piece. The next summoning event we're going to have is actually going to be the 11th of August, which is going to be a 2x ancient. So make sure you stockpile on those ancients, right? You're probably going to need around 30 to 40 would be a good estimate. If you can get more, get more. But I would say 30 to 40 is going to be a pretty solid one. Now, that also means we can probably save up all of the champion fragments that we're going to have from the epics and use them during that event, right? So each one of those, if we collect, let's say 3, should be able to give us 750 points. If you got a couple of Broadma fusions, you should be okay. You wouldn't need to pull any shards. But if you don't have the Broadma fusions, I would probably say having at least 30 to 40 would be a good idea. The next thing you're going to want to do is, guys, it's called Wait Shadow Legends for a reason. So just stockpile the energy now. Don't get caught. I know we have a lot of great events with like the RTAC challenge, and I'm a huge proponent of going for all of it. But I would say get what you need to get out of that event, get what you need to get out of any of the other ones. But I would say you should start the event with at least 2 to 3,000 energy, which means at the very least by Saturday or Sunday, I would stop using any sort of energy and just stockpile it, right? Just keep stockpiling it because they're going to throw that first event out, and a lot of people are not going to pay attention. They're going to not be able to double up the events, which will also bring us into the next point. But you are going to need a lot of energy. These types of fusions are very difficult. They're very resource intensive, and this guy is a void legendary, so you know Plarium already values him too much, right? Now, as for silver, you're probably going to look at about 50 to 60 million silver, right? So that's going to be kind of hard to try to recoup. Now, some of this is going to be done through gear cleansing and whatnot. Make sure if you don't have your forge that, you save your forge up. Now, I do want to make a special note that next Tuesday is actually going to be CVC. Granted, thus far that we know, it should not be a personal reward CVC. It should be a non-PR, but you never know. Plarium might come back out and say, hey, we got a really good fusion coming up. We want to drain the resources. So, we're going to make this a PR fusion, PR CVC. So that said, make sure clan leaders, you look into this and decide, do I want my, clan members going for this fusion, or do we really need to spend the resources for the CVC? So make sure you guys take that into account, right? Communicate, big time. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you are focused on this fusion. Do not get yourself caught off guard. We know Plarium likes to do maintenance during these times. We know that we have a lot of times where the game will be down. So try not to waste your time, right? If you're in the game, try to focus on getting the stuff done with the fusion. And I would say if Doom Tower needs to sacrifice a little bit or Hydra needs to sacrifice a little bit, you know what? A day or two isn't going to kill your account. But missing a fusion like this is going to, not allow your account to progress as easy as we would like it to see, right? Or I would like it to see. I can tell you I will be doing this fusion for Steven's account, and I will be doing it both on my main and my ult. And so I'm going to be doing it at 3 accounts, and it's going to be nerve-wracking to make sure I don't miss out on anything, right? So it is going to be a very, very difficult fusion. 100%. I can guarantee you that. You need to start saving resources. Think about trying to double dip and triple dip into these events. Do not just start and go, if we get Dragon on the first day and there's no Dungeon Divers, don't start going ham on Dragon. Wait, right? Those events are going to start to, they're going to be really heavy points-wise. I can see it already. The Dungeon Divers is going to be a little difficult, I feel, as they've been getting every fusion. Now, the good part is that the summon tournament, the summon rush, or not the summon rush, the summon champion chase is going to be at the end of this, unless Plarium feels like they want to do another summon rush. But I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be the 2x, and they're going to keep it as is. They don't want to get scrutinized for making this fusion too difficult. So now I'm going to help 2 players complete this fusion. 2 players that are either low spend or players that are, free to play or what. I'm going to be giving away 2 of the monthly gem packs, right? We will give those out on Sunday's live stream. So if you already don't know, we do stream myself and a couple of the other content creators. We hold a roundtable every Sunday from 3 p.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST. You can come and join us there. We can chat. We talk about everything raid. But this week, because this is going to be a fusion, I want to make sure that I try to take care of the community. So what you got to do to enter is basically leave a comment on this video, thumbs up the video, and if you're a subscriber to the channel, you can be entered in to get the fusion, to get the 2 monthly gem packs. So just again, be careful, prepare now, don't get caught off guard. Wait Shadow Legends is what the name of the game is. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks. It's going to be a little boring, but it might give you some time to, look at other things, work on Doom Tower. So rather than spending the energy in dungeons. So again, guys, if that helped, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. pleased to be entered into the giveaway. Make sure you leave a comment down below. It doesn't have to be anything specific either, just any comment. Be a subscriber to the channel, and we will pick the winners on Sunday. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.